the headlines. COVID-19 threatens to hit banana supplies next. Japan approves first high-tech exports to South Korea since start of trade war, but with a warning. Ethiopia pushes privatization to give its economy a sugar rush. Singapore economy could be headed for its worst ever contraction this year.
Live from the News Center of Economics in Manila, this is EIF, Budget for Quality Economists.
Where there is scarcity,
we are abundant.
Good morning, Philippines.
Morning, world.
It's Wednesday, April 22, and we hope you are staying home, staying safe.
We are Economics in Minutes, bringing the top current economic events that are surely with no bias.
For the details of our news. Banana export may drop 40% from 4 million to 2.5 million tons this year. This is because of curbed cultivation and transport from pandemic lockdowns and social distancing measures. The Philippines accounts for 20% of global banana production and 90% of total exports to Asia. Markets in China and Japan, who import the vast majority from the country, could feel the squeeze. So far, there are no notices of shortages, price increases, or reduced shipments from Philippine exporters. Here is Sir Alberto Bacani, President of Unifruity Philippines, expressing the plight of banana production. To avoid shortages due to competition and price hikes, Agriculture Secretary William Dar urges local governments to allow employees from agriculture and food processing facilities to return to work. If not, there will be fewer bananas to export, which will result in larger price tags for consumers as suppliers and growers try to bridge their financial gap. Importing from other locations may also turn out to be a non-existent solution. Gracing our studio today is Mr. Dimakuta, EIM's economic advisor, bringing us a top story of trade. Mr. Alawi?
In another news, Japan has finally approved the export of high-tech goods to South Korea since the start of their trade war, which is Manda. The good which was approved to be exported by Japan is an EUV photoresist that is pretty crucial for the development of the electronic chips manufactured by the biggest company in South Korea, Samsung. South Korean President Mr. Jae-in also mentioned how the EUV photoresist can be used as an industrial advantage for Japan against South Korea. He has also said even if there are any gains, it will be short-lived. In the end, it is a game without winners where everyone, including Japan itself, becomes a victim. This statement basically states how a trade war could badly influence diplomatic relations between different countries.
Can you explain the warning, Mr. Alawi?
The recent shipments of the goods exported from Japan to South Korea was shockingly restricted by the embargo order of the South Korean government. Even though Japan still approved the export of the high-tech good because it is good for their country, and then it was eventually imported by South Korea due to the fact that the South Korean shipmakers are hitting a dead end on how they can improve and develop their chips. However, even though there was an approval, Japan released a statement where they would restrict exports of key materials used in South Korean smartphone chips and displays.
Can South Korea do something about this?
They would have to loosen curbs that were implemented before on trade, so that Japan will redecide their ban on exporting crucial goods for the biggest industry in South Korea. To add to that, in the data made by Korea International Trade Association, Japan meets more needs compared to South Korea, ranging from limestone, agriculture, machineries, to plastic products.
Thank you for your time and sharing your knowledge with us, Sir Alawi. Let us keep the conversation running and more stories to reveal. EIM Patrol will be right back. For decades, Irbahana has scraped out a modest living from sugarcane, selling his harvest to mills run by Ethiopia's state-owned sugar monopoly. But lately, he's been working as a security guard to supplement his income, as 2 of the 3 nearby processing facilities have closed because of a lack of upkeep and investment. Sugarcane isn't just profitable anymore. It may be time to start farming something else. The government is planning to privatize Ethiopian Sugar Corp's assets, including the factory complex near Irba's home. A local investor also aims to let farmers buy shares in the mills with promises of investment in additional projects such as candy and ethanol factories. Ahead of said plans, Ethiopia plans to cut an excise tax on sugar to 20% from 33%, according to a draft law in parliament, in order to stimulate the economy. This would then help domestic sugar manufacturers and consumers who are feeling the pinch from inflation, running at more than 20% a year. The government said the first phase of privatization involving the sale of 6 factories would start in the first quarter of 2020.
In the current news today, the global economy is taking a big hit due to the recent COVID-19 pandemic. A short background to the virus. It originated from the second biggest economy in the world, China, more specifically the Wuhan province. The source of the virus is still unknown, however, the closest they can get of its origin traces to one of Wuhan's wet markets. Even if the virus is already recording a 3.4% mortality rate, some countries still have not stopped businesses from operating and did not implement any lockdown. While other countries are trying to contain the virus by implementing strict countermeasures like quarantine.
Can you give us more insights into these countries?
An example of a country that risked the lives of the people for the sake of their economy is the USA. Based on the Atlantic report, President Donald Trump has expressed inconsistent intentions for a national or even regional lockdown. This shows the determination and battle good risk-taking decision of President Trump to help the economy in any situation. However, for Singapore, it is a whole different approach to this pandemic. The higher-ups chose to implement lockdown even though they are aware of the consequences that their economy will take. Currently, they have observed a 2.2% year-on-year decrease in growth in the first quarter.
Oh, that decline is going to hurt. What will happen to its sector?
For the first quarter, the construction sector led the decline with a contraction of 4.3% year-on-year, followed by the services, negative 3.1%, and manufacturing, negative 2.5%.
And imagine that is just the beginning. What would just happen in the following months? Sir Alawi, can you explain to the viewers the consequences of this?
This graph on my right would give a better visual understanding of the impact from stopping the economy operating and reducing. As you can see from the graph, there is a huge drop in GDP growth rate. And as you know, NPI slashed the forecast for the growth rate, meaning the economy in the coming months will not be able to execute a lot of economic activity as before. Consequences that may happen are lesser supplies of goods and services, lesser jobs being available due to the businesses closing down, decrease in income per head as employment will be high, and lastly, spending and transactions in the economy will decrease due to the drop in demand. EIM netizens, we only have 244 days till Christmas.
This is EIM, budget but quality economics.